welcome back to another powerful episode of AIBiz, the podcast where we go beyond the buzzwords and deep into the heart of what truly powers success, like clarity, consciousness, and the courage to evolve. So, now let me ask you something, dear listeners. What happens when AI meets spiritual intelligence? Right? So when a Fortune 500 tech leader asks not just how to scale, but why, and when success isn't just measured in pipeline numbers, but in purpose, alignment, and the personal transformation. So today's guest, please welcome Lawrence Nwajei. So welcome to the show, Lawrence.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Amazing. So, dear listeners, before we delve into the discussion today, I would quickly love to introduce you to Lawrence. So, Lawrence doesn't just work at the cutting edge of AI at Salesforce, but he lives at the intersection of technology, transformation, and the truth. So, he is a top enterprise account executive managing the multi billion dollar clients, a published author of One Step into Spirituality, and a former VP of Sales who's helped over 500 people break into tech. So at just 29, Lawrence is redefining what modern leadership looks like and how we can use AI not just to automate, but to amplify who we truly are. So let's dive in, and because this conversation is going to stretch your mind and expand your spirit. So welcome to the show again.
Thank you. Thank you. Excited to be here.
Amazing. So Lawrence, you're on the front lines of AI at Salesforce and helping Fortune 500 clients navigate a rapidly changing world. So, from your vantage point, what's the biggest misconception that people have about AI right now?
That is going to be used to replace large swaths of the workforce like immediately. I think I think organizations try to skip past a phase. Typically, you enable the workforce first with new technology, and then that new technology can go and do some level of automation. And I think with the excitement, with the possibility of expanded margins, more revenue, people tried to skip past that phase and go straight to agents that are doing things in an automated agentic way. But I think
Mm.
what most organizations are going to come back to is it's actually more valuable today to enable their current workforce to increase their efficiency. And then that will give them a basis of data on how to answer questions, let's say customer service questions more efficiently. And then eventually down the road, we'll get to that true autonomous agent operating with no guardrails.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. Yep. And and on the flip side, what's something most people um aren't seeing yet, but you believe will be a kind of game changer?
I think the creation of more art forms. I
Oh.
think that there's going to be new ways of people getting promoted to new jobs. Like if you're a writer, now you can be a director. If you're a director, now you can have a writing component to it. You're going to be so much more enabled to play in these other disciplines that people who were just creative in one discipline are now going to have the ability to add two more disciplines to their repertoire. Like I'll take for the example of myself, I'm a writer and I've started to play with VO as a way to write and give a visual component to the things that I'm writing. And I think that is going to offer so many new ways of creating and collaborating with art. I think artists are feeling the pressure of these tools, but if they embrace them, there'll be new, more effective ways for you to take the fact that you're an expert artist and amplify your capabilities with AI, with art.
Mm. Yeah, I understood. Yeah, definitely. And it's really fascinating, because AI isn't just about replacing the work, but it's about uh, reimagining leverage, time, and even identity, right? So,
Yeah.
uh, Working at Salesforce during this AI evolution must be intense, and balancing innovation with uncertainty. So,
Yeah.
I mean, how has your own mindset evolved through this phase of leading enterprise DUs with an AI first approach?
I think we're just moving so fast. I think the pace of change is incredibly rapid. When we think about the products that we had 2 years ago to the products that we have now, the vision for the company 2 years ago versus now, the pace of development has outpaced what we're even able to keep up with internally here. So what it's caused us to do is actually sell the right way. It's sell in terms of impact. We can do a million things. We have the
Mm,
platforms, technology to solve a million different problems. But what's
mm,
the most valuable problem for us to solve? And what's the one that is going to create the most impact to your customer experience? So it allows us to really key in on doing things the right way and focusing on challenges, impact, time to value, return on investment, and then getting back to actually how are we going to solution this. That's coming last when showing the demo used to be first. So I'm seeing that this evolution to just move in the way of we can solve anything. We'll figure it out later after we quantify the problem and quantify the solution. That's one of the things that I've seen really change in the AI era.
mm, exactly. So, like, has it changed how you coach or lead others
Mhm.
uh, in your circle, like especially young professionals breaking into tech?
Yeah, I think I tell them to use the tool in so many different ways. I think in a lot of ways it's to learn. I saw this study come out that AI is making us less intelligent. And
Mm,
I'm like, it's making you less intelligent if you use it in an unintelligent way. It has so much opportunity to teach us things. And so oftentimes I was coaching someone on a job interview yesterday. They're getting ready to interview with a company. And I was like, okay, what we're going to put into a prompt is you're meeting with a recruiter. This is their background. This is the company. This is the role. And then you're going to have it create example questions that you should practice. And then I want you to also have it test you on the company. So there's so much that may have taken an hour of research where now we can just focus on an hour of practice. So it's now giving us the ability to be more efficient in how we're preparing. So I think that's one of the ways that I'm using it. And especially on a day to day aspect, I'm doing a lot of strategy
mm,
work. So I'll use it as a like a partner to come up with the best strategy and then go on a call with my counterpart and deliver that strategy and iterate off that as a first step rather than straight going to iterating with the partner and then coming back.
exactly, I understand. Yeah. Uh, and like we often talk about adapting to AI, but what you are saying is that we also have to evolve who we are in the process. I mean, that's a kind of deeper shift. So, what do you have to say on this?
That like your question is really just about how do we change as we're
Mm,
utilizing this technology?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's in expectations of the technology. I think if we expect it to do work for us rather than empower us, then we're coming at it with the wrong mindset. But I'm coming at it with a mindset it's just going to supercharge me. And
Mm,
I think I'm looking at every single point in my life. There was a day a few years ago where I was like, I want 100% better life. So I'm going to map out my life in 100 different aspects things that how I wake up, how I brush my teeth, and make them 1% better, 100% better life. And I think about like those kind of conversations. A lot of the times I'll do reflection for myself and then throw it into AI and say, give me some questions I should ask myself that I should reflect on. So there's just so many different elements of using it as a way to challenge who you are today and evolve with you rather than using it to do the work for you.
exactly. Wow. So, I mean, uh, let's talk personal. Like, I mean, you have written one step into spirituality, and
Yeah.
uh, you speak about the masculine and the feminine energy alignment, internal growth. So, how does your spiritual perspective shape the way that you engage with high stakes environments like the enterprise sales and take?
Yeah. I think so much of the spiritual comes down to intentions and understanding what you actually want. In order to pray, you have to have something that you're asking for. Are you asking for wisdom? Are you asking for promotion? What are you praying for? In order to manifest, to visualize, you have to know what you actually want. What do you want to accomplish? What is the distance between where you are and what you want to gain? And as I approach enterprise sales, a lot of it is in being grounded in what do I want from this company, from this deal, um, from this challenge, and then mapping that back to how am I actually going to accomplish it, and then realizing that I'm the creator of my reality. So I think the best enterprise AEs, the best sales reps are the ones who are managing their emotions, using tools like breath work, using tools like meditation, and then visualizing what they want and manifesting that. And that allows you to really just focus on the process, using every single opportunity, every single deal as a chance to grow and develop your skill sets.
Hmm, true. And like uh I mean, do you ever feel that tension like between the speed of tech and stillness of soul?
Oh my God, all the time. All the time. I'm definitely a social media junkie. I'm on Twitter far too much, and I definitely feel that pull to just, enjoy technology rather than sit in stillness. But I've found that if I carve out that time to sit down, to just disconnect, that is when I have my best ideas. That's when I realize how I can actually overcome a challenge, how I can view it from a different perspective. So I think while we're moving so fast, while technology is moving so fast, we have access to so much entertainment at the fingertips every single day. It's being intentional about the fact that this technology enables us to do a lot, but what it does take away from us is our experience of our own reality and to make sure we're setting aside time for both.
Exactly. Yeah. And one of the most powerful ideas in your book is that millionaires, like real fulfilled millionaires, have these spiritual habits. So, what's the one habit or mindset that keeps you grounded when everything around you is accelerating? Like, especially with AI scaling everything.
Yeah, it's reflection. It's at the end of the day, journaling and saying, like, this is what went well. This is what went not well. This is something I wish I had done. This is something I want to do tomorrow. It's taking that time to reflect because I think if you don't see the pattern in your days. You don't see the pattern in your lives. And that means you might continue to repeat mistakes a lot longer than you should have to.
Hmm. Yeah, that's right. So, um, how would you recommend someone new to this blend of success and spirituality to get started?
To get started. Yeah. I think there's so many people who talk about these kind of concepts. And since we're talking about AI, I think that's a great place to start. I think I would write down like where am I at today? Taking some reflection of the good in my life, the things I'm grateful for, the things that are challenging, the areas where I know I should grow. And I put that into a sheet. And then I would write, where do I want to be in 5 years? I call it a personal manifesto. And I actually visually create it. For me, it's like I'm in this high rise apartment in Chicago. There's 360 glass windows. I'm with my wife and I'm just thinking about all these beautiful things in the moment. I'm writing down all of those things. And then I start to create the gap between where am I at and what that manifesto looks like and starting to close that gap as a visualization that I'm doing every single day. And you could throw that into ChatGPT and it could give you some of the different things you need to do to work on to actually close that gap. So that's how I'd start to get into the spiritual and maybe asking it, what are some techniques that are help me from manifestation to shadow work to visualization, all of those.
Exactly. Wow. Ooh, lovely. That's so I mean, so much of success is about internal stability, right? Like,
Yeah.
and you're basically saying that get still, get clear, then go big, and that's a beautiful formula. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. You
and
can conquer the inside, you can conquer the external for sure.
yeah, exactly. And also, like, you have mentored over like 500 people into tech and consulting roles, many from the underrepresented backgrounds. So, what does real empowerment look like to you in the age of AI?
Mm. Yeah. I think it's access to opportunity. Um, when you're empowering people, you're giving them the access to the rooms that they weren't in before. And they still have to earn their right. They still have to earn their keep to get into those rooms, but they even have the chance to be in those rooms is what's important in empowering those people. And I think a lot of the work I did was on communication. It was realizing that these people didn't have any gap between them and the people in tech. The difference was, can they communicate the skill sets that they have today and how they're actually going to employ those when they get into the workplace? That
Mm.
was a lot of the gap.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, not just access to tools, but sustainable success with the soul. What do you have to say?
Mm, consistency. I feel like you start with not having knowledge about something. Like I didn't really know much about the spiritual. And so I had to spend a year trying everything from acupuncture to Reiki to
Mm.
visualization to understand how those things would impact me. And once I got to the knowledge, then it was, can I execute them? Can I add them into my life in a regular basis? And then once you have the execution, it's like, can I make it consistent? And once you can make it consistent, you can then let it transform your life. So I think it's just this iterative process of growing in our consistency and our stability. And then that really allows us to make the transformations we want in life.
Perfect, lovely. Yeah. And and what's your vision for the kind of leaders we need in this new AI powered era?
Yeah. I think we need creative ones. I think we're going back to an era where creativity is going to be the difference between success and failure. Whereas, like right now, a lot of it is leverage. Do you actually have the cash to be successful? Do you have the talent to be successful? Now it's going to be like, do you have the creativity to be successful? Because there'll be so many different ways to do a task. I have a friend who runs a lead generation company, and they were doing manual lead generation, doing cold calls. Now they're using Claude to do a ton of their lead generation, using the agentic features of that software. And so being able to build that with the combination of Claude and Clay and some of these other software stitched together, that it's successfully generating significant amounts of leads, that is such creativity. There's going to be
Mm.
so many different tools out there that you can stitch together, that you can leverage parts of, that you can use. It's going to be the creators, the ones that are really creative, that are going to be the most successful in this new era.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. So, like, I mean, that's the model of leadership we need, and not more noise, but more depth. And I'd say, I mean, you're the living proof that the two can coexist. Yeah,
Definitely.
exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly. So, what advice would you like to share with the listeners today?
Yeah. I think start to understand the
Mm.
ways and the tools that you can utilize in order to find balance. Like you can manifest faster, you can have better conversations, you can find more joy out of life if you find balance. And taking the time to be still and ask the universe, ask yourself, what do you want out of life, is going to give you so much more purpose.
Mm.
So much, so often I meet people and they say they want more, but they don't know what. And so often I meet people who don't actually have a vision board or a list of goals, and it's only about 3% of people who do. So stand out in that way. Build the list of
Yeah,
goals and have a true vision of what you want your life to be, because it's a lot easier to get than we think.
True. Very true. Lovely. Great. So, dear listeners, I believe we have learned a lot today from this discussion, uh, and uh, it's not only about the AI, or it's not only about the technical part of it, but it's most important is like uh, what we are taking into the scaling from this. And so before I mention, I'd love to ask Lawrence, like if someone wants to connect with you, what will be the best medium to connect?
Yeah. Find me on LinkedIn, Lawrence Nwajei. Connect with me there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, so dear listeners, what I'll do is I'll put all the links into the show notes for your easy reference, so that you can easily reach out to Lawrence. And I have to say this, like, if you are someone who is navigating this new era of AI and wondering like how to stay human, stay grounded, and still aim high, then Lawrence is your blueprint. And be sure to check out his book, One Step into Spirituality, The Spiritual Habits of Millionaires, and also connect with him on LinkedIn, because let's be honest, we need more leaders like him in our feeds, our companies, and our lives. Yeah. So, with this hope, until next time, this is your host Avik reminding you that keep your mind sharp, your heart open, and your purpose strong. So, thank you so much.